Self-care is not a prize for good behavior.
No.
It's not a reward. It's part of being a person.
That's self-care is maintenance.
Yes.
Self-care is the thing that we need to make sure that we're moving through life functioning. It keeps our functioning going. Welcome to Right Here, a podcast about mental health, connection, and what it means to be human. I'm Christopher Mooney.
And I'm Kenyon Phillips. Each episode, we unpack the psychological patterns that shape our relationships, our sense of self, and the way we move through the world.
No jargon, no judgment, just thoughtful conversations that invite us to come back to the present moment.
Because when we're right here with ourselves and right here with each other, something shifts.
We get a little clearer, a little more regulated, a little more right.
Right Here is a podcast partnership with WPKN 89.5 FM in Bridgeport, streaming online at WPKN.org and via our free listening apps.
All right, self-care, not self-improvement today.
Not self-improvement.
That's what we're going to hit.
Self-care, the self-care online looks like what, spa days?
Spa days, or I don't even know. When I think back about over like the last 10 years of like, hey, take care of yourself. And this is really critical in our field, right? And when we talk about mental health, and everybody's always talking about, take care of yourself. What's your self-care? How are you kind of recharging as a clinician? I actually have a hard time pinpointing what it is, like for us, but also for just in general, when I think back, like what people reference as self-care.
Right.
And I think the thing is that it's actually different for everybody. It's really kind of like specific to the person. Mm-hmm. And so when you get all this kind of, social media and just kind of people talking about like, hey, this is what self-care is, like spa days or,
vacations
or whatever it might be, that might not actually register for certain people.
For a lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean, because that kind of self-care looks really expensive. And it looks like you need a lot of time on your hands.
Right.
And self-care within the context that we're talking about it is for people who are on the go all the time.
Yeah.
The people we're sitting with every day aren't saying, I need more spa days.
No.
They're saying, I don't remember the last time I got a full night's sleep.
Yeah. Self-care for me would be like sleep 25 more hours a day. And, just endless time to kind of get more things done.
Right.
But the problem is then you end up just over-functioning in that, right? So I think self-care is kind of like, so we're going to talk today about what real self-care is for people who over-function, for parents, for helpers, for everybody, and how it shows up in real life. Like, we can talk about what it looks like for our bodies. Like you mentioned, spa days, for our minds, in relationships. And again, I think we're going to come back to boundaries. And that's really,
always
in self-care, I think boundaries are going to come up.
Yeah, so absolutely. And not being guilty for taking care of yourself. That's another part.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Beautiful.
So, yeah, if we think about it, right, like if we scroll through any of our, your social media of choice, spa days typically look like, or self-care looks like candles, face masks, vacations, like you were saying, things that seem like expensive, like, hey, I'm going to carve this time out for myself.
Right.
But it's like a reward almost, right? That's something we earn.
Yeah. Exactly. It's a special event.
A special event. But I don't know if we ever feel like we earn it, or I wonder, like you were saying, like this guilt, right? Like, so if you do a bunch of stuff and then you take time off, do you end up experiencing guilt, right? And then is there guilt attached to what was supposed to be this self-care event?
Absolutely.
And I think, I experienced this recently going on vacation. And since we started our practice and we've been building this, I've not really taken any time. And I ended up working through most of the vacation, just periodically here and there, but it was still like, there was still this, I had to like detox from work, and I felt guilty actually taking time away.
That's the thing. We are so overly scheduled that, just in order to survive, we feel like that is, what it takes.
Yeah.
And yeah, as a result, it's like, going to bed when you're really tired, but you're stressed. You lay down, just because your head hits the pillow doesn't mean you're actually going to fall asleep.
Exactly. Exactly.
What do you do with all the racing thoughts?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think self-care, especially a vacation, is the same.
Right. So we want to talk about, this is self-care without marketing, right? It's not a luxury. It's not self-improvement homework. Mm-hmm. This is really basic maintenance for your body, for your mind. And I'm curious, and we're going to talk about this, as to why it's so hard for people when we know we need it, mm-hmm. and we all talk about it and it's all evident, mm-hmm. but there's really it's just such a difficult switch to flip.
It is.
Right.
And a lot of people ask, like, how do I do self-care?
Right.
Beyond just saying self-care.
Yeah.
And stock images of spas.
And that's exactly. So let's talk about what people think self-care is versus what it really is.
Okay.
Commonly we look at like that commercial social media version, right, where it's products, treats, getaways, me time. And like I was saying, these are all marked events.
And it's also marketed as an escape.
Yeah.
Like, this is, your indulgence, your ritual, mm-hmm. your time.
Yes. Take your getaway.
Me time.
It's not sustainable, because it comes out as like the only way to do this.
Yeah.
And for most people, I think, especially now, carving out a week-long trip or even a long weekend, mm-hmm. is really difficult. Coming up with the money and the funding to do it when everybody's kind of struggling to kind of, maintain their lifestyle.
Right.
Right. Not even an extravagant lifestyle, but just maintain.
If we can redefine self-care,
mm-hmm.
as the way, I don't know, the way like a health organization would define it, which is like an ongoing daily action to protect and promote your health, your physical health, your mental health, and manage your stress, and basically cope with whatever challenges come your way.
Absolutely. So so we're shifting the paradigm, right? So mm-hmm. because I think the paradigm of self-care became this commercialized, diluted version. It's almost like Valentine's Day,
Good point.
It's like we talk about Valentine's Day, and it really just became about cards and flowers and chocolates and everything else, and
right.
and going over the top. Even you have to go out for an expensive dinner on that day, and
right.
you look at all the money put into it, but that's not really what this is about, right? So I think we can kind of look at that as a parallel process. Yeah. Self-care has become the same thing.
Yeah, self-care has become performative in the same way you're describing Valentine's Day.
Right. So if I buy a $120 candle, I'll feel much better about myself.
Absolutely.
Even though I'm going to loathe burning it, because that's $120 literally going up in flame. Yeah.
I never thought of it that way.
No,
I'll never burn another expensive candle.
No,
again.
They smell good, but just they smell good just to leave open and not burn them.
Exactly.
So shifting that paradigm, right? Like the shift to redefining, or actually, let's not talk about redefining self-care. Okay. Let's call it reclaiming what self-care was.
Oh, I like that.
And I think that's important, because it was something that was maintenance, or maybe was just kind of automatic. And it became diluted and commercialized. And totally. So, and reclaiming what self-care is.
And self-improvement is what it's not. I think self-acceptance, we often say in recovery, it's about self-acceptance rather than self-improvement. But I think within the lens of self-care, why is it so hard for us to accept that we need these basics?
Mm-hmm.
We need... this isn't about becoming better people.
No.
It's about acknowledging that we have bodies, we have minds, we have relationships, and we need to sustain all of those. We're not Marvel superheroes or DC superheroes.
That's right. Thank you for noting the difference. No, it is this. Self-improvement is a separate process,
right?
And we've talked about that, and we'll talk about that more in the future. That is making certain adjustments in your life, mm-hmm. and focusing on the things that you want. This is really about maintaining. It's like, I always think of cars. I mean, because I like to associate everything with cars. Yeah. This is making sure that, you know, your old Toyota is still running,
right,
like 15 years later, and that you do that by changing the oil and, you know, maintaining all the fluids and just kind of making sure everything works.
Right, exactly.
You know, you're not running out to buy a new car every time your car like kind of seems to be getting too old or a little sluggish.
Right.
It would be nice, but that's not, the old ones work just fine.
They do.
You just have to maintain it.
You have to maintain them. And these bodies we're in work if we maintain them.
Yeah. So, Kenyon, the difference between self-care and self-improvement is, I think self-care keeps us functional, it keeps us grounded, it keeps us connected.
Mm-hmm.
And self-improvement is more about fixing, optimizing, upgrading.
There's an implicit criticism, a self-criticism in the idea of self-improvement.
How so?
The idea is that something needs to improve.
Okay.
Whereas self-care, the way you're talking about it, which I love, is, hey, this is something we need and we deserve. Mm-hmm. And it's what keeps us at status quo. It's what, you know, it kind of gets rid of the idea of like, oh, you need to improve yourself.
Right.
How about looking at our lives as, looking at your life as, Chris, you're great. And this is what you need to do to stay great.
Yeah, that sounds much better than, hey, I need to do these things to be a better person.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're right. That and it removes that negative. We've talked about like the negativity buffet.
Negativity
right?
buffet.
So,
all you can eat.
That's right. So this actually is a nice counter to that. If we have the reframe of self-care versus self-improvement.
Totally.
Separation. Some of the barriers to I think to self-care and why it's so hard for us is that we kind of use over-functioning as an identity.
Yes.
You know, and we think about how often we hear, when you ask somebody how they're doing, like, oh, I'm so busy. Oh, I'm like, everything's crazy right now.
Right.
That narrative spills over into how we manage our own life and how we feel about ourselves. And it also spills over how we caretake ourselves. And I think that we often see ourselves as like the really responsible ones. We're responsible for the family, for extended family. We're responsible for, you know, maintaining the house or whatever it might be, the job. This could be in the workplace. Oh, I'm the one that has to do all these things versus letting other people kind of share responsibility.
Like when you set up for the podcast
right,
recording?
Yeah, and I'm like, you know, come on, man. No, this is all on me. So we see ourselves as the strong one, maybe, or this is kind of the responsible one, the strong one, or the helper. Right? I have to be the one that's always, you know, setting aside my needs in order to help other people.
Yeah, we learn to self-abandon.
Yes.
Because it's all about output, right?
It is.
It's not about, our value is only in how much we can accomplish. I think we're trained to.
That's the measure, right? Yeah. How much can you do versus how are you being? How are you existing?
Exactly. But within that context where all the emphasis is put on output and doing, self-care is going to feel selfish. It's going to feel lazy.
Absolutely.
It's going to be interpreted as slacking off.
Totally.
It's going to be avoided.
It is, because we don't want to be seen as, oh, you're taking time, you're resting. How dare you take 20 minutes and put your feet up at the end of the day? You can't lay on the couch.
No.
Or watch a show or do whatever you want, right?
Absolutely.
That's done when you get in bed at night and you're scrolling through your phone for 2 hours instead. So it ends up interfering with your ability to sleep, which is, you know, negating any self-care you would have.
Exactly.
We might feel that guilt. Like I talked before about like going on vacation. I feel a tremendous amount of guilt. Like I need to be there for work. I need to be there. It's income. It's showing up. I'm not being responsible enough if I'm taking time off.
Totally.
And then we're supposed to earn our self-care. We're supposed to earn that time. But then when we earn it, like it's kind of a moving target. It's the goalposts are always changing.
Right.
And that's not helpful. Like that feels bad. Like I know that I'm just coming off of this and it felt really bad.
Well, yeah, because you're setting yourself up to lose.
Every time.
with, like, well, what's enough? What is good enough? Oh, I'm getting older and quote unquote better, so I need to do more. Anytime we, base our self-worth on accomplishment, we are setting ourselves up to lose.
Yeah.
I see it in people who retire and suddenly they have a crisis of identity because they felt like they were only as good as their last job, or, what they did, what they accomplished within that job.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's like, well, I'm not working, so who am I?
Yeah.
Where's my value?
Size matters. Its size counts. Let's put it that way. And I think there's confusion around that, right? This idea of like, unless it's this big overture, it doesn't count. And so whatever I have to do to take care of myself, it needs to be something grand or something big in order to really make a difference.
Right.
Like, and I can extract every possible ounce of replenishment out of that.
Right.
That's not how self-care works. It can be tiny, small things over time.
Yeah.
And again, maintenance, like changing the oil in a car is not this huge overture.
Mm-hmm.
It's something you do, every 5,000 miles,
Totally.
Longer if you use synthetic oils. But you start looking at small little adjustments over time just to maintain.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't have to be this big overture, but I think that gets in the way. We get really confused as human beings with that. The bigger it looks and the bigger it seems, the more we're going to get out of it. And that's not always true.
No, especially on social media. And that's what we were talking about before, the signaling of, oh, I'm on vacation, or I'm at this luxury resort spa and getting a massage. When in reality, it's these small, sort of desultory, mundane, everyday actions that really add up to self-care. Sleep.
Yeah.
Movement, exercise.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be a full-on, you don't have to like get all geared up and go to Equinox Fitness and work out for 2 hours.
No.
You can put on your sneakers and walk for a mile.
Yeah.
In between sessions.
Totally. I get caught up in that all the time, and we've talked about running. Where I've gotten it in my mind over the last few years where I have to it has to be these long distances. It has to be this amount of elevation changes, all this statistics and data I get caught up in. And honestly, the best I feel is when it's in between a session and I leave the office and I go walk literally a mile or a mile and a half.
Yeah.
And I might listen to music, or I might just have nothing on at all. And just kind of like come back, like no headphones, come back and just, it's like, oh, I got out a little bit and just moved.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's the same with meditation.
Mm-hmm.
People think, oh, I have to do, a 20-minute meditation in the morning and a 20-minute in the afternoon. That's great if you can do it.
Right.
It's also great? Setting your iPhone timer for a minute and just sitting still and closing your eyes.
Yeah. It feels wonderful. And I think that's, again, going to it's the grand thing versus just that small little maintenance steps.
Right.
Food is another really important one.
Huge.
And we talk about eggplant parm all the time. Shout out to eggplant parm.
We love eggplant parm.
We do. Although you've thrown an Audible recently, which I think is really filling that gap.
Yeah.
With your fried artichoke sandwich.
The fried artichoke sandwich, adding broccoli rabe and eggplant. It takes it to another level.
It does. That is all the self-care I think we need.
Exactly.
3 of those a week.
At least 3. But here's the thing. Even with food, how many of us decide in the midst of our busy day, oh, I can go without food, or I don't need to eat right now.
Yeah.
Or I can eat later. Mm-hmm. I'll grab something.
Right. That doesn't make sense. It's consistent. We know this from exercise. Mm-hmm. More consistent, smaller meals works better for our body.
Totally.
A couple nosh throughout the day.
Exactly.
Have a nosh.
Yeah. Have a nosh. I love a nosh.
I think self-care is often hard because it's not that we don't know what to do. And you mentioned this before. We've been taught and trained to look at it a certain way. Mm-hmm. And we've been taught that our needs come last.
Yes.
Right? They come second to everybody else, and you're only allowed to have these things in an emergency.
Right.
Like,
right.
Oh, everything's falling apart. I need 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Not, hey, things are going really well, or it's just a random Tuesday. I'm just going to do this. I'm going to take 2 minutes on, set a timer, and just kind of breathe and not do anything. I'm not going to look at my phone. I'm just going to close my eyes and breathe.
That's why I loved living in Italy.
Why is that?
people valued rest, and you weren't expected. We weren't conditioned in Italy to rush back to work at lunch. It was like, have a really nice lunch.
Absolutely.
Maybe, even have a bottle of wine at lunch, and then leisurely kind of go back to work when you're ready. In Spain, the siesta, practice of siesta, taking a nap after you eat, a midday nap, that's accepted. It's socially acceptable. It's probably less socially acceptable than it was maybe 10 or 20 or 30 years ago. But the problem here that you're pointing to is we're modeled, what's modeled for us is martyrdom.
Yes.
Overwork. Sacrifice yourself.
That's right.
Abandon yourself in order to be busy and have the greatest possible output and productivity. Meanwhile, we suffer.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think we equate more work to more money and more comfort and, having more and more. And then you just get caught up because it's not a one-to-one relation. It's not a direct correlation like that.
Absolutely.
Right.
It's not.
And it's interesting as you were talking about that time off after work or after lunch and just kind of going slow. My daughter was away at camp and for 2 weeks. And when she came home, she said this great time that she had was after lunch. All the campers would go back to their cabins and they'd have an hour. You could write letters or you could just nap. They'd turn the lights off in the cabin and they'd just chill for an hour. And I'm like, oh, that's really wonderful. Like to be able to do that. And I mean, I have a hard enough time blocking even half an hour to go eat for lunch.
Most of us don't. Most of us
Right.
are like, oh, taking lunch is for, lazy slackers.
Right.
I'm not going to take lunch.
Or what a luxury. Like if you were able to, if I saw that you could take a lunch hour every day, I'd be like, dude, Kenyon, how nice is that?
Yeah.
How do you do that? How can you do, what a luxury.
Right.
But that's rude. Like that's like, it's not, it's like, then the question should be, what do I need to do in order to do that also? How can I have that in my life?
Exactly.
Versus looking at it as like somebody else's luxury. Like I can't do that. I don't deserve that.
Let's stop that. Let's
Yeah.
stop that because it shouldn't breed resentment
No.
or envy.
No.
Especially the way we're framing it as, these are the basics.
So these are the ways. So these are the things we can do if we start thinking about how to like parse out self-care, right?
Okay.
We've been talking a lot about things for our body, like maintenance. So we talk about sleep and really getting regular sleep, and sleep is the strongest predictor for stable mental health and resilience. You do all the therapy in the world, you can do all the vitamins and ashwagandha and meditating, but sleep is the best thing.
It really is. And how much sleep should we be getting?
That's a good question.
Adults are recommended to get, I was surprised by this, 7 hours.
Yeah.
8 if you can.
Were you surprised that it was that much or
Yeah.
that little? Okay.
That it was that much?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, wait, no, by the time you're an adult, you only need like 5 or 6, right? And wrong.
Right. That's what everybody says is that you only need 5 or 6, but you need more.
Yeah.
We need on average 7 to 8 hours.
Exactly.
And that sounds like a luxury, doesn't it?
To me right now, it really does.
Yeah.
I have to say.
But if you go to bed at 10, you're still up at, 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Maybe 7, depending on what time you have to get out, if there's a commute or you're getting kids ready for school, etc. But you can get up. I think it's not about sleeping in later. I think it's actually about going to bed earlier.
That's a really good point.
And when I think about how I need to adjust, I actually really like the mornings, although I feel sluggish if I stay up too late doing things. Then I want to sleep in, and then when I sleep in, I already wake up. If I sleep in even till like 8, I'm like, oh my God, I've already missed so much of my day.
Right.
I really love, I don't get up this early, but I love that 5 to like 6 a.m. because nobody else is up. That was my favorite time in New York City too. Getting up at 5 a.m. like on a Sunday, or 6 a.m. on a Sunday or Saturday when nobody was out in the city, it was like the perfect time. You could walk, the streets were pretty, they were like clean, there's like sun was out.
Diggable Planets has a song about that. on the first album.
That's right.
Pacific.
That's right.
New York is red hot.
Yep. So it's if we can adjust our bedtime earlier, and I would ask for those listening to try that.
Mm-hmm.
Just a half an hour. Start with a half an hour, then move up to an hour maybe. Or if you go to bed at like 11:30, just try like 11. See how it works.
Absolutely.
But like in total shutdown. I mean like eyes closed, no phone
off. Yeah.
Exactly. Like
Yeah.
like going to sleep that early.
I have clients who, struggle with a dependency on their phones, their devices. And I tell them, I suggest, hey, why not leave the phone outside your bedroom when you go to bed?
Yeah.
And then one day I was saying it for like the 7th or 8th time. I was like, wait, I need to do this.
Yeah.
Why can't I do this?
Yeah. I'm always like, my phone has to be near in case somebody calls, if there's an emergency.
Right.
There's all these, it's my alarm. It's all these
Yeah.
things. And like, yeah, there's other ways around that.
There really are.
Yeah.
If we're just a little bit creative.
That's
about it.
right. That's right.
So sleep is important. Another one is, we're talking about the body,
Mm-hmm.
movement, exercise,
Right.
physical activity. Physical activity is not a luxury.
No, it's a necessity. Sitting all day, if you have an office job or you're just stagnant, it is the worst thing for us.
Mm-hmm.
So if we couple like minimal sleep and minimal movement, we really start to feel physically awful.
We do. And we also get depressed.
Yeah.
And our anxiety levels go up.
That's right. The cortisol increases then.
Mm-hmm.
And cortisol is what?
The stress hormone.
Thank you. My wife makes reference to the movie WALL-E all the time.
I love that movie. It's a Disney movie.
It is. It's an amazing movie. But the humans in that movie all become these like blob-like creatures who can't move. They're so sedentary.
And they're on like these sort of Segway type devices.
That's right.
And
That
just
moves them.
eating.
It carts them around.
Yeah. So that they
Yeah.
can go buy more food and things.
Yeah, and just buy things.
Yeah.
And just consume. We want to reduce that. So more sleep, more movement, and that's in a healthy diet. Mental hygiene. So we kind of touched on this a little bit, right? Like when we talk about meditation or time without screen,
Right.
like just time to ourselves.
Mental hygiene. I like that.
Mental hygiene.
Use some mental floss.
That's right.
I like that.
Mental toothbrushing. But this idea of really like, what do we need to do to have a healthy state of mind? And I think it really is about minimizing like overconsumption of screens and like social media and internet and just even TV. Like, don't sit down and binge 4 episodes of a show. We don't need
So
to
many
do
of
that.
us, that's a great point. Binging is another form of numbing.
Of course.
And it's not all that different from, okay, I need to relax now, so I need to have a bottle of wine, or I need to have a joint, or, or a gummy.
Yeah.
Binging is a really similar practice.
It is. And so many people get caught up with it.
Yeah.
I think
can
it's
really
more acceptable,
incapacitate
right?
us.
Mhm. How many people do you talk to are like, oh, I just watched 4 episodes of that show, in a row, and that's what I'm doing tonight. I was talking with somebody yesterday about this, and just kind of like the balancing that out. They were actually like, yeah, I do this too much. There was a real recognition of needing a change in that.
Yeah.
But it was this numbing pattern.
Yeah.
And it's TV was never set up that way.
No.
We used to have to wait. My kids can't wrap their head around the idea that we had to wait a week before a new episode. So it's funny. Apple and Netflix and all these streaming services change the paradigm again to say, hey, you can sit and binge, and you can stream all this stuff, and we'll release it all at once, and you can crush, seasons worth of things. And then they started switching it back again to kind of get you really
To roll out.
Like
with Game of Thrones on
Game
HBO.
of Thrones. Stranger Things did the same, I think. A couple of these shows that really made you wait. My kids were like, wait, I can't wait. I was like, you have to.
Yeah.
You just have to be okay with waiting now. Yeah.
Waiting. That's a podcast episode.
It is.
How to wait.
How do we just wait?
We talk about a lot of times how people can't really stand to like wait online.
Mm-hmm.
They need a device in their hand or something. And we used to just wait. Like sometimes if you were buying concert tickets or something like that, you just had to wait.
You just waited.
And you'd talk to people and you'd form a sort of sense of community, or you'd participate in an existing community.
Yes.
now we have zero distress tolerance when it comes to waiting.
But there's a phenomenon now, and I see it in New York, strangely too, where a certain generation is they are waiting on lines for everything.
True.
However,
the Instagram, social media thing.
But I think they have their devices.
They do have their devices. But there is this phenomenon. I think SNL even did a skit, like waiting on a big dumb line.
Yeah.
For like whatever.
Waiting on a big dumb line. I refuse. I don't want to wait on a big dumb line for
the latest cookie.
No.
The latest hamburger, or the latest milkshake.
No, I'll go to the next place.
Yeah.
I had that with lobster rolls in Maine. There was like one of the most famous lobster roll places going up the coast, and my wife and I went, and there was a big dumb line outside, and it was going to be like 45 minutes to get a $30 lobster roll. I was like, that's so stupid.
Yeah.
Across the street was literally the same lobster, and there was no line, and it was like half the price.
Right.
And we went over, got our lobster rolls, and left, and people were still waiting online.
Yeah.
Like we ate and left and had a good time, and I was like, these people are still waiting. That's crazy. Why? You're wasting time.
It is.
Relationship care. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
What does self-care look like within a relationship?
Well, it's a cliche, but date nights. If you're a couple that's been together for a long time, there is, and a date night doesn't have to be a huge event where you have to book the premier restaurant and, do it weeks in advance and line up a babysitter.
Right.
I like sometimes my wife and I just go to a diner in the middle of the day when the kids are at school.
Yeah.
Like,
that's so nice to carve out that time.
Yeah.
But that's you taking your lunch.
True. I should feel guilty. I should self-flagellate for that.
Right.
But what about a walk in the morning before the day gets crazy?
Absolutely. Or at the end of the day, like after dinner. Just go for a walk. Helps with digestion.
Yeah.
So you're helping your body, you're moving, and you're spending time with another person. It doesn't, by the way, this isn't just exclusive to a partner.
Yeah.
This is a friend or family or, anyone, really.
Even just a dog, even if you have a wonder, so many of our animals are emotional service animals,
Yes.
whether they're licensed to be or not.
Yeah.
Just taking that walk.
Absolutely.
Through the woods, or down the street to get your coffee in the morning.
Yeah. Meeting a friend for dinner is relationship self-care. And if you can, and we've talked about this before, I've mentioned like going out. I have a friend that we meet up or try to meet up every month or two.
Right.
But it is, it's difficult to coordinate and schedule, but if we set an intention to carve out that time, it really, that is self-care. I always feel great after that hour, 2 hours.
Totally. It doesn't have to be crisis-based connection. It doesn't have to be like, oh my, everything's hitting the fan and I need to talk.
No.
Or I need to, or we're about to get a divorce, so I'd better schedule a date night.
Right. Yeah, it's not rescue. It's not a rescue mission. It's that maintenance thing again.
Yeah.
It's spending time with somebody, and it goes back to the importance of connection. You're spending time with another human being. You're in proximity with another human being.
Right.
You are able to, and it will help your mental health. It helps the relationship. It helps physical health. It's critical. Actually,
I laugh because we keep coming back to connection.
Always,
but it is one of the flagpoles of mental health.
Yeah,
and existence, really.
It's a human condition. It's a human need. It's not just for people struggling. It is just a human need. We are herd animals.
Right. Yeah. Boundaries are another area of self-care that we don't necessarily think of as self-care.
Yeah.
Boundaries aren't sexy, but they could be.
They can be. I think we're making boundaries sexy.
That's what we're working on here.
This is turning into a Delicious Dish episode. Yeah, make boundaries sexy.
I love it. But it's, you don't see people posting about boundaries. But saying no when we've reached our capacity is one great way to practice self-care. And we have a whole episode about that.
We do.
The power of no.
Go back and listen.
Not taking on more, not only more at work than you can handle, but also like more emotional labor. Like there are some people who are just constant in my life whom I love dearly, but they're constantly in crisis. And if I take on their energy, if I take on their crisis and make it my own, I have zero capacity for myself.
Yeah.
So just being like, hey, I love you, but I'm going to do me right now.
Yes. And reframing that idea also, the boundary is that self-care is not indulgent.
Oh, huge. We can't underline that enough.
Yeah. These things they're not always glamorous. They're just, it's not glamorous at all, actually.
No.
But you will feel glamorous if you do these things.
If you go to bed at a decent hour, if you move your body even just a little bit, if you meet somebody for coffee.
Totally.
And if you say no before you've collapsed.
Dude, if I could go to bed and wake up without massive bags under my eyes for like a week, that would be, I feel like I won the lottery.
Then you wouldn't have to get all those injections.
That's, yeah, all those injections. That's totally me.
Amazing. Well, I think of Julia Roberts. Julia Roberts looks amazing, and she will say it in interviews again and again. She goes to bed. She tries to go to bed at like 8 o'clock every night if she can.
That's perfect.
Especially
go to bed
when
at
she's
8.
Like shooting.
Yeah. Go to bed as early as possible. Mm-hmm. Get a full night's sleep and hydrate. Drink more water than you think you're supposed to.
Always.
Yeah. And we don't. Even and I'm trying to drink enough water, and it's still not enough.
It really never is.
No, you should always have a water bottle in your hand.
Yes. I believe in that. I carry one.
Believe in the water.
I leave it.
I carry one
places.
too. I don't use it.
I leave it like everywhere. But it's the thought that counts.
So.
Okay, so if we could just do one thing, so because we have these areas of self-care, right?
Yes.
We have like the body, the mind, the
relationships,
the relationships. Okay, so for the body, what's one thing I can do?
Movement.
Okay.
Commit to moving one time a day.
Great.
Commit to going for a short walk, a mile.
Perfect.
Not even. Doesn't even have to be a mile. Walk to one point and back outside.
I love it.
By the way, do it in the rain or the wind also. Just throw a jacket on. I used to have this mentality like, I could only run if it was nice out, and I could only go out for a walk if it were nice out. That's ridiculous.
It really is.
We're humans. I actually love going for a walk in the winter and when it's rainy. Just bundle up and go.
So do millions of British people.
That's right. Well, they have to. That's just necessity.
But I love taking a bracing walk in the UK. It's great with wind and rain.
Now you can take a bracing walk in the hills of Connecticut.
It's true.
That's right.
It's true.
We've been getting enough rain lately. But that it also checks off your mindfulness kind of exercise too, because go out for a walk in the rain and just focus on what does it feel like? What does your body feel like? Is it cold? Is it hot? Are you feeling wet? Are the raindrops hitting your face? Allow it. We're not going to melt. We're not sugar.
No.
We're going to be okay. So go out, get soaked, get sweaty, just deal with it.
Right.
And try it. And then come back, take a shower, and go back to work.
Love
or
it.
do whatever you need to do.
Yeah. No, it's like a mindfulness. It's like a walking meditation.
So go for a walk.
Okay.
Is body.
For the mind.
For the mind, meditate.
Yeah.
Go to sleep a little earlier.
And let's redefine. Let's open up the definition of meditation.
Okay, hit it.
Because I get really like caught up in this like perfectionistic idea of what meditation needs to be. Meditation can just be literally closing your eyes for 30 seconds for a minute and just not doing anything.
That's right. Try it. I challenge everybody listening. Do it one time. Start with one time a day for a minute.
Right.
That is so not that long.
Yeah.
Or do it. I like to try to do those things 2 or 3 times a day.
Throughout the day.
Since it's only a minute or 2 minutes, even 5 minutes isn't that long.
You can afford it.
We can afford it. We have to. It's actually a necessity. It's not, these things are not luxuries. They are necessities in our life.
That's the mantra. Necessity, not a luxury. Necessity, not a luxury when we think of self-care.
Self-care is not a luxury. It's not indulgent.
Love it. Okay, relationships. What's one thing we can do for self-care in our relationships?
You talked about this not too long ago. You talked about this, I know you've talked with me about it. You reached out to one one person. I think you saw somebody post something online,
Yeah.
and you text them,
Yeah.
and it turned out to be this really great conversation,
Yeah.
right? Just reach out.
I called them. I actually phone. I
did.
I
You did
cold
call
called
them,
them
right?
without. Usually, it's really weird
Yeah.
since COVID.
We text
right?
for permission.
We text
Can I
for
call
permission
you?
to
Yeah.
call.
No, just call.
And I just calling.
Yeah. I usually do the, hey, are you free right now?
That's more polite.
Because I want to be aware, like other.
If I were
places-
polite, I would do that.
That's you're very polite, but the idea is, reach out to somebody. You actually FaceTime all the time, which I love, and I've talked to you about this because nobody in my life FaceTimes me. You FaceTime, and now I started doing it with some people, but I love that because it's this like next level phone call connection. I'm like, oh, I get to see you.
I can
Like,
see you. I can
yeah.
clock your expression. There are
Right.
things that are communicated in the FaceTime that aren't just over.
That's right.
Certainly not over text.
No.
We lose those nuances.
That's right. It's important to have some of that nuance, and just kind of see what each other looks like that day. So text or call one person, and we've talked about this before. It's the vulnerability. Be a little more open about what's going on. Just say, hey, I was calling. I was thinking about you. That's so nice. If somebody were calling and say, hey, I was just thinking about you today. You were on my mind. I just wanted to call and see how things were going.
Totally.
And don't answer with, I'm fine.
No, this morning before we met up, you were like, how are you doing? And I said, you know what? I'm having a really tough time because I'm dealing with like some cyberbullying with my
Right.
8-year-old. And you were like, oh no,
Yeah.
and then you were able to share stories
Yeah.
that you've experienced. And then all of a sudden we're having a real conversation.
That's right. And you're not alone in that.
And
And
I-
you realize
exactly.
you're not on an island dealing with this thing. There's actually, I think a lot of people are dealing with that thing specifically, but it's nice because all of a sudden if we don't feel alone, we feel much better.
Right.
Remember,
exactly.
we're herd animals. We can't be alone. We're like goats.
You're just like goats.
We are. I would equate us to horses, but they're very fragile. I don't want to be a horse. I want to be a goat.
Yeah, no, let's be a goat. Let's eat sweaters. Don't they eat sweaters?
They eat everything.
Yeah, they
my
eat
kids are
everything.
convinced that they'll eat tin cans, which is probably true. I know that's
right.
I know that's what's said, but I don't know. Maybe they can. I know they eat poison ivy.
I love that they eat poison ivy. Okay, so in terms of boundaries, self-care, what's one easy way to sort of like assert our boundary?
So I would say practice saying no, or I can't do that right now. And we went through this in our boundary episode, but I'm actually going to challenge. It's a different challenge. Pause before you commit to something. Just take a moment to think about it. I go through this in talking with couples. I go, especially in communication and relationships, with everything in our life. Just pause. Dealing with kids, dealing with your own kids. Kids are great at this. They'll ask you and put the pressure on you to get some. I want this. I need this now. I need this
Right.
now. Can you give me an answer? Give me an answer. I really need this. Can I go there? Can I go there? But I need. They're asking. Can I go? Just pause. Just say, you know what? I need a couple minutes to think about it.
Yeah.
I've been doing this with my kids too, and they're not pressuring me because for any other reason. They just want an answer.
Right.
So we all do. I put
Instant
pressure-
gratification.
Yeah, I put that pressure on people all the time too. But the practice has been, hey, give me a couple minutes just to think about that. And I really just kind of want to play out scenarios in my mind. I want to think about what this would be like. And so, so it's not saying no. It's not, I can't do this right now. Those are great boundaries.
Yeah.
Practice those. Just pause. Just take a beat and just take a beat and just kind of like think about something before you respond.
Exactly. You can respond
Not react.
as opposed to react.
That's right. And the difference, Kenyon?
A reaction is instant,
Yes.
it's thoughtless, and it's often harmful.
Yeah, it's reflexive, right?
It's reflexive. Somebody gives you the finger while driving. You give them the finger back, and then you scream and yell in your car at them. You have road rage. Response is measured. Response takes into consideration what is best. What's the best way? What's the next right action?
That's a great way. I love that. The next right action.
And it takes time.
It does. It's reflective versus reflexive.
Yes. I love that. That's a bumper sticker.
That just came out. That I literally.
Are you kidding me?
No, it's just.
That is so. Wait, you really just made that
Yeah.
up?
It's
reflective, not reflexive.
That's right.
That's true, because we reflect in order to
Yeah.
respond,
Mm-hmm.
whereas when we react, it's a reflex.
Yeah. I always think of the doctor hitting my knee with that little.
Little hammer.
Yeah, the little hammer, and that is. I don't want that.
No.
That is.
To test your reflexes.
That's right.
right.
So we want reflective. We want something with more thought into it.
Absolutely. And remember that real self-care isn't so much about what you buy or consume. It's more about what you're willing to stop buying, to stop consuming,
Yes.
to stop doing.
Mm-hmm.
As the Tao Te Ching says, do the not do.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't
just do something, sit there.
pause.
Don't
Just do something, sit there. I love that so much.
That's from recovery, and that's a
Yeah.
huge, huge slogan.
So as we know, with setting boundaries, with everything we've talked about, taking care of ourselves, when we talk about changing our negative self-talk,
Mhm.
there's always a withdrawal symptom to this.
Always.
Like when we make any change as a human being, we feel some sense of withdrawal. Again, the withdrawal from this, as we start to change how we look at self-care and kind of reclaim some of that,
Mhm.
we're going to feel guilt. We're going to feel anxiety, and it's going to be awkward.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it's wrong. It actually means it's right.
It means it's new. Isn't that what you
means
always
it's
say?
New, yeah. It means it's new, and it means that it's working.
Yeah.
If it feels a little awkward and creates a little anxiety, that's a good thing.
Growth is always uncomfortable.
Of course.
Think of like growing pains.
Yes. It means your nervous system is adjusting,
Yeah.
and that's what we want. It's the way that we treat our body, in our mind, in our relationships, and limits day after day.
Boundaries.
That's what self-care is.
Mhm.
It's not these glamorous overtures.
Right. It's just like the daily maintenance.
Yeah. And we don't have to be a self-care expert. We don't have to optimize every habit. We don't have to like crunch all the data from our watch or
Right.
our rings to kind of like
Our Aura ring.
yeah, in order to really kind of like optimize and maximize. We're not self-care maxing here.
Yes.
we
with
are-
2 X's.
That's right. We are taking small, honest steps towards little areas that we need change.
Totally.
Like shifting a half an hour or an hour of our sleep to earlier. Go to bed a little earlier, right? To walk a mile. Take that effort. Take a little bit of time for lunch. Those are the things that we're changing. We're not, consuming different peptides and all these other things to maximize our self-care.
Right. And remember too, self-care is not a prize for good behavior.
No.
It's not a reward. It's part of being a person.
That's self-care is maintenance.
Yes.
Self-care is the thing that we need to make sure that we're moving through life functioning. It keeps our functioning going.
It does. And it also reminds us that we're more than our functions, our various functions. It's okay to just be a person
Yes.
as opposed to a producer, a parent, a helper,
Yeah. Our lives
positive
are
contributor.
So if we have grace for ourselves, right? We talk about this. We acknowledge that our lives are imperfect, and then we allow ourselves certain things to kind of help.
Right.
And we're allowing space for that. That is really what self-care is. It's incorporating that grace into our imperfect life to kind of say, hey, I can just make these small adjustments to make it feel a little less imperfect. Or so that I have the resilience to deal with the imperfections. I think
That's
I
what
like
it
that
is.
more.
I think that's really what it is.
Self-care helps us build resilience and maintain resilience to deal with the imperfections in life. That's gold right there. Mic drop.
Thanks for listening to Right Here, a podcast partnership with WPKN 89.5 FM in Bridgeport, streaming online at WPKN.org and via our free listening apps. If today's conversation resonated with you, we encourage you to follow, review, and share Right Here with anyone you think would appreciate it. We'll be back soon with another conversation designed to bring a little more light to the human condition. I'm Christopher Mooney. And I'm Kenyon Phillips.
Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. Right Here is for educational and informational purposes only and is not a substitute for therapy, diagnosis, or treatment. If you're experiencing a mental health crisis, please contact a local emergency service or your trusted mental health professional.